Hello, this video is going to review the 8-question nested loop quizzes. We'll start with the first problem. Notice here that 5 is the first value of x, okay? Then we have our condition, as long as x is less than 0, we repeat. Now what's neat about this problem is notice your increment is happening before the other stuff, right? In this case, it's a print. Usually we see it down here, okay? That's what makes this question a little bit tricky. So when x starts off as -5, we ask, is -5 here less than 0? And it is. So then it increases, right, and becomes +4. Notice the output, right? First we print out -4. I've already eliminated this one and this one, okay? So it's either A or C. As we continue, we check, is -4 here less than 0? And it is, so we increase it to be -3. -3 gets printed to the screen. The pattern repeats a little while, so we ask ourselves, is -3 less than 0? And it is. Increase it by 1 to -2, print it out to the screen, and ask ourselves again, is -2 less than 0? It is. Therefore, we increase it to -1. Print that out to the screen, and now it gets a little interesting, okay? We printed -1 to the screen, and now we ask ourselves, is -1 less than 0? Yes, it is. Therefore, we increase it to be 0. We print 0 to the screen, and now, okay, the loop will ask itself, is 0 less than 0? In which case it isn't. I no longer increase, I stop, and this is my final output, which matches option C. That's the first question with the weird incremented while loop. Down here, okay, we want to print out 0, 2, 4, 6, 8, and 10 in that order. We know that the start is at 0, my increments by 2, and now we're thinking about, okay, at what point do I stop? This one stops 1 shy, so we know it can't be option A. We'd only get up to 8. This one, it's completely facing the wrong direction, okay? Count is never greater than 10. This one could work, but we wouldn't, this doesn't work at all, okay? Because in the first case, when 0 is not equal to 10, we're not going to print anything out to the screen. So that leaves just one option here, right? We want to be inclusive of 10, C here as the answer. In this problem, we have the review of the shortcuts, specifically this line, right? These two are equivalent in saying that count equals count times 2. So it's double its original value. We start off at 1, and we'll keep track of 1, okay? We ask ourselves, is 1 less than or equal to 10? Yes, so we double it. What was once 1 now becomes 2. And then do that once more, because 2 is less than 10, it becomes 4. Okay, is 4 less than 10? Yes, it is. Therefore, we double it once more. Is 8 less than 10? Yes, it is. And we get up to 16. Okay, 16 no longer repeats the doubling pattern, and that's why we subtract 10 from it, okay, to give us a final answer of 6. That's the third question. Now we have a for loop in number 4. Notice its start is at 3, it stops just before 8. So 3 is okay, 4, 5, 6, 7, as I'm approaching 8, this is where I should slow down and think about it. 7 is less than 8, good, so I print that to the screen, and I don't print 8. So my output's a little messed up because there's not commas, there's just spaces in between, but I should see 3 up to 7 inclusive. That matches option A. For number 5, we have a nested loop. So again, rows, columns, okay. So when I is 1, okay, this is the first iteration, we print out a star, okay. The inner loop is now running. 1, it prints. 2 is okay. 3 is okay. 4 is okay. 5 is okay. 6, you don't print a star out, okay. So then we move down, right, this, for example, what is it? Up here is I, right? And then down over here will be y going down, okay? So here, this value, y was equal to 1. Here, y is equal to 2. And we repeat the same thing, star, 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 okay? And it keeps repeating. Notice y must stop at 6, okay? As 6 is the last number, that's strictly less than 7. So in this example, we have 5 columns and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 rows. Now in this example, we have one loop that counts up, right, increasing, and the other loop counts down. It's minus minus. So as we keep track of this, we can approach it like the previous problem, okay? 3 is okay for j, and again, rows and columns. So when j is being tracked, it starts at 3, goes to 2, down to 1, and 0, nothing happens, okay? So in the first row, with our, let's see, I values here, right? I here equals, make that look a little better, 0, okay? I equals 0. Here, I equals 1, right? I equals 2, so on and so forth, up to I equals 4. Pattern goes star, star, okay? And 0 doesn't show 1, okay? And then we repeat this again, and I is 2, we repeat it, so on and so forth, down to the 5th, although it's I equals 4, okay? There are 5 rows in total, right? Because we started counting at 0. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, and we stop. There are 5 rows, 3 columns. Or in other words, in this problem, with a little awkward phrasing, 3 start for rows and 5 rows in total. Your answer here is B. I'll come back to 7 because I think that's the hardest question on here. There's a lot of things to keep track of. We'll do 8 first, which has the nested loops, one being a while loop, one being a for loop. So we think about, okay, rather than rows and columns, how many times does the inner loop repeat? Okay, it visits 0, it visits 1, it visits 2, and then 3 is no good, okay, because it's not 3 is not less than 3. Inner loop repeats 3 times, okay, 3 times. Now we think about the outer loop, okay, over here, starts at 0, okay, grows by 1, 2, 3. I'm nearing my stopping point, so I'm going to slow down. Is 4 less than 4? Yep. What about 5? Nope. So from there, we can see a repeated 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, right? A total of 5 times. So all this stuff, okay, 5 times. 5 times, it repeated 3 highs, gives us a grand total of 15 highs. Now for this question, okay, I want to keep track of var 1 and var 2, okay, when we have different repeats of our loop, okay. Draw a little table. We're going to see how many times this loop repeats. In the first repeat, okay, first repeat, here's the second repeat, here's maybe the third repeat. So in the beginning, okay, var 1 and var 2 start off at 0. So I guess that's, let me write that here, okay? 0 and 2. Now on the first repetition, we ask ourselves, right here, right, we're checking this part, is var 2, is 2 not equal to 0? Yep, it is. Is 0 divided by 2 greater than or equal to 0? And it is. So that means I decrease, right, this thing happens, right? So that means I increase var 1 to be 1, and I decrease var 2 down to 1. Okay? I ask myself again, based on these values, is var 2 not equal to 0? Yep, 1 is not equal to 0. Is 1 divided by 1 greater than or equal to 0? Yes, it is. So that means the second repeat happens. I increase var 1 to be 2. I decrease var 2 to be 0. Now, on this third repetition is where it gets interesting, okay? var 2, which is 0, not equal to 0, is false. That's this thing right here, okay? Because this part is false, and we're dealing with an and, you should be thinking short circuit evaluation from that first week, okay? When working with ands and you first see a false, this thing skipped. So some of you were tempted to choose this option, causing an error, but because of short circuit evaluation, no error occurs. And our values no longer repeat that third time. Here is our answer. Okay, var 1 has the value 2, var 2 has the value 0. C on my answer key is the answer. Hope this is useful.